You have reached your destination.
Yup. Well, I've got everything ready to go. I've done some buffing. Buffing, god damn it. Gosh darn it. I've got some wet sanding I just did. I took off all the overspray from the black. What you're looking at there is some unsanded blue, I think. It'll pop out once I re-clear. Um, and it sure does look like a cellulite up old woman's rear end, I guess. But honestly, once the clear goes back on there, you're not going to notice. So, yeah. Did a few little tiny touch-ups. I had a couple of touch-ups I needed to do in there. I did that. And so without further ado, I'm going to, what do you call it, tech coat this, get all the dust off, and redo the clear coat. The second coat there too. Now, I readily admit that this is not the best way to do things. Ideally, I would have been doing this in a booth with heated furnace or heated airflow and etc. And I would have done one coat or one application of clear coat and everything plasticed up and blah blah blah. But I was dumb, one, and took off the plastic, and two, I just don't want to reapply. It takes me literally hours. If I'm careful with my little gun, this little sucker here, I can control the flow pretty easily, so I'm not too awfully worried about, overspray and so forth. If it oversprays on the interior of the car, I couldn't give a flying figlet. Everything else is pretty much covered up, and I'm not going to go past the radiator shroud mount hole things. So there you go. And if it gets in here, like it already has in a little bit, you see some speckledies. I don't care. I mean, I want this flat black anyway. So, and here I am. Got my gloves on, sandals. I'm ready for painting. That's done. Got a little crease in there. That's not a drip. And all that's all finished up. I've got some buffing in there to do, definitely, but that's alright. Got a whole bunch of buffing stuff I just bought off of Amazon. And ad for O'Reilly's. Yeah, I'll buff this out in a couple weeks. I got a little 3-incher I bought. Should go really nicely, too. And that's pretty much it for the night. I'm done. Back hurts. So I thought I would share something interesting here. Got a nib. I can to sand that down. And pardon the movement of my phone here. I've got a pretty tightly focused thing here, plus something to keep it focused. I have a razor blade, right? And all I'm going to do shave it down. Okay, so that nib is gone now, and I still need to sand the rest of this this thing down here. Let me see if I can find another one, another good example of a couple of them. Let me see. One right there. Again, all I'm going to do that's gone. These marks here will sand out. And one more just for interestingness. These are bits of dust and junk that get in the stream of the clear coat. Yeah, it's done. And oh, by the way, it's also good on drips. I got a lot of drips. See, here's one that's sort of left. Right there. gone. And that will easily, all this will easily buff out. I've got a little bit of a paint thing there to do. Another nib. Oh, what the hell? Watch me de-nib this entire thing. So I'll do this all over the entire fender, and I'll have little splotches like this that will easily sand out when I start doing the 600 grit. This is another one that I plan to re-clear. Actually, I'm going to re-clear everything. I've already done the body and everything else. So, yeah. Yeah, so some more work to do. Oh, I could probably show you down. Maybe I could show you down here. Some drips and things. Oops. And give an indication of how this. Oh, there's an entire bit that didn't get cleared. I did a pretty crappy job clearing this, clear coating this. But I'm not going to touch this part. All I'm going to do is scuff it up, clear it, and then, yeah. I did a crap job on this fender, I'll tell you what. This is the other fender. I have de-Christmas caked, de-drizzled this thing pretty well too, and I have obviously sanded it down. You can see some work in here. This line bespeaks of a drip that was there before that I've taken down, both with my razor blade and some sandpaper. See where it's kind of. I need to sand that down so that more clear coat will stick to it. This line here, you can see some drip there, some drip there. I sanded all that down. That was both a mixture of sandpaper and my razor blade. So the razor blade's a good method, but it actually takes longer than sanding it. Sanding is more aggressive, but you also run the risk of burning through into the paint, which I've done in a couple spots. That's not paint, but that's just a low spot actually. So I've done some repair. I've done some repair to some of the spots I did go through in the fender here, specifically up in the fender arch there. I've redone that with a little bit of paint there. You can see some messy work that I think I still have more work to do on here. And I just don't want to sand any more on this because I'm afraid that I'll burn through. So I'll put another layer of clear coat on this. I'll then sand that down after I know that I've got a good amount of stuff still on there, and I'll be able to smooth it out from there, and then buff it and so on and so forth. So yeah, I got a little bit more work on this still to do. So. And that being, I've got more clear coating to do. That won't be too awfully long to do. 5 minutes maybe, and that's both fenders. Actually, 5 minutes. I mean, to do it, each layer is 5 minutes, but there's 15 minutes between coats, and on and on and on. I may actually just do one fender at a time and plug in both of my little space heaters to heat the entire thing up, so that the clear coat solvents flash off more quickly, and I have much less of a worry about drips. Yeah, that's what I'll probably do. After that, I've got the hood still left to kind of sand down, just the top part. I'm just gonna buff out the rear, and then the trunk lid. Did I do the trunk lid? Yeah, I did. It's the doors I have left, I think. Or do I? Hell, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think this was it. I think this was it. Yeah. So, yeah, cool. Okay, here's my next redo. My rear fenders are done and ready to get resprayed. I'm gonna clear some crap up off the floor and get her done. I had a few areas I needed to repair with paint, but those are minor. Oh, for Christ's sakes! Gosh sakes! Yeah. All right, so you'll notice that I've got some areas here that are not perfectly flat. Here's a perfect example. These were drips, obviously, and a sag there. I have deliberately not sanded all the way down because I'm afraid of going too far into the paint, or into the paint, period. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm re-clearing this, putting an additional layer of paint, of clear coat, which you know, clear coat is paint. And a couple of other areas, like there's one there, you can see that right through here. That's a high spot. And yeah, there you go. Same one over here. I've got a couple of areas here that I just didn't want to sand down any further. Huh. Yeah, here's one. Some in here. Low spot there, I'll be damned. I did a really good job on getting some of these drips off with the razor blade method. All that there. And again, I'm gonna re-clear over this. Once the God dang it, my back is getting bad again. Once this all dries out and it's time to do the next stage, I'm going to resand it, I think, and get these other high spots down so that everything is nice and smooth and level. And again, what I'm looking for is a smooth, beautiful reflection when the car's outside. So, yeah, there we go. This poor thing is on its last legs. It's seen better times anyway. So, the other one is just silent as hell, but this one, it's like a kid at Miami Beach on the summertime. All right, so I'm done. I've got some known issues I'm going to work through. I'll show that to you in a sec. I've got a good 3 medium coats on this thing. You can see a little bit of the speckly. Look at right in there. That should be a little bit more clearer, but I've got so much clear coat on this that I'm going to be able to sand this down to a nice dull polish and then polish it all out. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. All of the paint repairs that I had you can no longer see. You can't see where I've repaired is what I'm saying. So that's good. That turned out well. I'll turn off my my compressor here. I need to pull my moss parts away too, but so I don't have any runs or drips. I've got a couple here that I was going to overcome. That's from the last set there. So overcoming that with some sanding is exactly what I'll be doing. That's the known issue I'm telling you about. And you can kind of see my reflection. Yep, so that's working out well for me. And the other known issue I've got to deal with is this, and that's clear coat. So I'm going to be sanding that down and getting rid of that that Band-Aid there. Let's see, and that too. Actually, holy shit, that drip. I'm my only one. Right on. Well, that's not bad. For me. If you're pro and you're going, oh my god, then fuck you. I think I'm done. Yeah, obviously I'm done. So I'll turn my noisy little thing back on. And I'll call that a day. I have declared victory on this. It's a moral victory if nothing else. And that I think my next couple videos will be how it looks as I start to polish. It's 4 o'clock, it's a Sunday, I've got other crap I gotta get done, so I'm done for the day. And there we go. So not a bad day spent.